going to tell you a story. Actually, before I tell you a story, can I explain something? If I'm sweating. I am sweating so badly. The reason I'm sweating is not because I'm nervous. It's because I'm in Townsville in Queensland, and at the minute we are having record-breaking heat wave. It's about 40 degrees outside. I reckon in this little studio it's probably about 45 degrees, 50 degrees, because I've had to turn the air conditioning off so that I get decent sound. Oh well, let's keep this short, before I die of heat exhaustion. Anyway, back to the story, because I've got a story to tell you. So this is my story. I learnt to teach when the lecture theatre was the main teaching space that academics used. This was back in the late 1890s, no, not that long ago, in the late 1980s. And in those days, you just taught in the way that your lecturer used to teach. But I was also never taught theatre, so as well as not being taught how to lecture, I wasn't taught theatre. No one seemed to notice that the lecture theatre had theatre in its name. Now, after the first 5 years of lecturing in lecture theatres, I noticed a lot of students looking bored and uninterested by my lectures, and that could have been because I was teaching a boring topic. But I thought it was more likely to be because I was teaching it in a way that was boring. I wanted students to be engaged and interested, so I started using music, then video, and in some ways I was slowly learning to understand that I was in a theatre and I needed to start to use some theatrical devices, to use sound, to use vision, to bring in comedy and pathos, to try to engage students emotionally as well as intellectually, to kind of fire their imaginations. But there was also another transition happening. Unbeknown to me, at that time, I was moving from the theatre to the screen. I didn't notice this or understand it at the start. It started with our lectures being recorded, so that students who were absent could catch up at a later time. And then the lectures started to be live streamed for students who wanted to listen to the lecture live, but for whatever reason were not able to turn up at the lecture theatre. So I found myself on screen and still with no theatre training. And it all came to a head when I ended up on national TV, being interviewed for an evening news programme about a particular issue that I claimed to know something about. And it was then I fully realised that I didn't have any screen presence. I didn't know how to act in front of a camera. I found that I wobbled. I mean, I quite literally wobbled. I'll show you a clip of me actually wobbling on national TV. Is this a
fair resolution?
No, I don't believe it's fair at all. Quite disappointed, I could say disgusted actually at the outcome. So I've been a scared little bunny caught in the headlights ever since, and I just feel I've got so much to learn in regards to how to present myself on screen and how to think of teaching as a form of theatre. But I'm working on it, and not long ago I came across something that I think helps. At least it helps me get into thinking about teaching as theatre, and it's perhaps the most important thing in theatre. It's something that is starting to transform how I teach. And I'm going to share that with you just now, and this is all about a way of starting a talk, any kind of talk, whether it's a teaching session, whether it's giving a research paper, whether it's running a professional development training session. There's a way of starting those sessions off in a way that can instantly engage most of the people in the room. And it can be summed up by 4 little words. And these 4 little words are the ones that when someone said them to us as a child, they made us sit bolt upright, eyes like saucers. They filled us with a sense of excitement and anticipation. It would fire our imagination and prepare us to be taken off into new, weird and wonderful worlds. And these words can still do this to us as adults. These 4 little words are once upon a time. Now, it's something that is old as time itself. It's as old as human history. It's the thing that binds people together, all people, all cultures. It remains important to all people, all cultures. It's the way knowledge and experience is passed on between people. It's storytelling. It's something that in higher education we seem to have somewhat lost sight of in many of our disciplines. Now, I'm not saying that we should start every conference presentation, every teaching session, or every professional development presentation with the words "once upon a time." Indeed, some of us might feel that it would lead us to lose our credibility, particularly if you're in an area of science that makes very strong objective truth claims. Some areas of science would not thank you for talking about their work as though it's a fairy tale. But we can use other words instead, like, "I'm going to tell you a story." So, that was the story. Cheers and ta-da!